Previously on Woodwalkers.
You know, somewhere between 40 and 50% of our experienced hands are going to be retiring in the next 5 years.
And if you suck, we're going to tell you suck. You got two options: get better or go home.
He's worked jobs. He's had to work to get where he's at. I mean, he knows the challenge that's ahead of you, and he tries to do something like this. He's pretty much put all his chips on the table.
I needed to find something that was going to actually make my future better.
I know that if I apply myself, that it will pay off and it can change mine and my family's lives. Children and a family, you know, it's everything. So I owe it all to them. I know that the opportunity's there if I apply myself, then I can absolutely give them everything that my heart desires for them.
It was just nerve-wracking that I couldn't get comfortable.
Right. We're not going to hold your hand, but we'll help you if you want it and you need it.
I tried it. It's only special type of men could do. You feel me? Man, I just wasn't a special man that could do that.
You ain't got a damn clue of what you're fixing to get into. Treat it like it's real, because in 3 weeks, we're kicking y'all's ass out of the nest.
Oh, damn.
Take some on, ball. Yeah.
They done good tonight. I mean, they done better than what I thought they would have done. We're way ahead of schedule.
Right now. 5 on 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, fast 5!
You have no idea what you're capable of right now. None. What you're gonna learn today is not easy.
I came to the SealFit 20X Challenge wanting to overcome my desire to quit. And I wanted them to make me want to quit. And every second I wanted to quit. I looked over and there's Fabian and he looked just ruined.
I mean, there was a point where myself and another kid in the PC, when we went back to the tents, I think we both said, if you go, I'll go. But then we looked at each other and was like, you know what, we can't leave. And so we went back out there and it just got worse. It just got worse.
I'm Michael Robertson. I'm from Trenton, Georgia.
Hey, I'm Fabian Pantoja. Being there and just having my family there was like awesome, getting to show them like what we had gone through.
You got your family watching and whatnot. That felt like I did it and I made it to this point to where I can prove myself a little bit.
The fact that a lot of my family and friends can come here and experience what I've been doing and see some of the things and watch us compete in the rodeo, it's a proud feeling.
Get up there, Pop!
Kamala, my wife, my son Frankie, and Kamala's parents. They've been really supportive and get a taste of what a blue bandit is.
Like just knowing what you did it for, you know, just knowing that, you know, you've overcome, you know, certain fears and certain things in life, and now you're, you know, climbing these poles like it's nothing, ready to graduate from, you know, one of the best schools in the nation. There was a moment I'll never forget. You gotta know what you want for yourself, like, and just go and get it. I think that's what I did.
Tim gave me a little playful punch in the shoulder, and just like, you did it.
I've always been a mix of that kid that falls on his face, but somehow finds a way to get up. This is that pinnacle moment where I've picked myself up.
46, finally, a little late in life, but not too late if I don't let it be. And that's one thing I'm hoping that future employers look at me, because yeah, he's older, but I got the heart of a lion. You know, I've scratched the surface of something that's way more vast than I can imagine, but I want to learn it. It's what I think I'm good at now.
I was definitely thinking about quitting a couple times, but I damn sure didn't.
It's the first day for Class 59 at Southeast Lineman Training Center, and everyone is excited for what lies ahead. Students' nerves are running high, and instructors are ready to shape them into the linemen of tomorrow.
On orientation day, the students are confused and wondering what's going to happen next.
How you guys doing?
Good, how you doing?
Excellent, thank you.
The guys come in from all over. You know, you're looking at 250 to almost 300 guys.
Andrew, nice to meet you.
You as well.
You guys get paperwork?
One of my favorite things about registration is seeing a lot of the kids come through here scared. Never left home, never been away from home, and by the end of 15 weeks, they're going to leave here a group of men.
We start at 7:55. I recommend that you're here at 7:30.
The guys are coming in, you can tell everybody's nervous. For the most part, it's just a way for us to introduce ourselves to the guys. We get them comfortable and try to get them out of that nervous stage.
I've learned never to judge by what you see come through. The ones that you think might not make it are going to excel, and the ones that you think look like naturals, maybe they're afraid of heights or something like that.
Andrew Bowsman.
Learning a trade is very important in today's world. The electrical grid and the communication grid is all in the process of being rebuilt, so we want to make sure students are aware of the opportunities they have with us.
The students will have the opportunity to train on the best trucks in the electrical utility industry and acquire a must-have CDL license, which will be a requirement by future employers.
They all seem extremely eager to start hitting the poles on Monday, get their tools, and start climbing, learning how to be linemen.
Originally from Huntington Beach, just about a month and a half ago, I was bartending outside at Big Bear Lake in about 20 degrees. Had to be outdoors, be in the elements, need a challenge every day. I'm sure it'll be triple digits here in the next month or two. Southern California.
Okay. You drive me?
Yeah. How long did it take you? About three long days. It was just me and my dog that drove out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dog and I. Left my house here. I think I set my alarm at 3 a.m. I had all these plans to go camping here, all the way down the road, but as the trip progressed, I just wanted to get there. So I ended up just doing a truck stop, sleeping in the back of my car. I made it in 3 days about. So it wasn't too much of an exciting trip, but I had my dog with me. A lot of driving, 3 to 4 hour naps.
Andrew's got the genes of the Bowsman family tree, and that is he's always on the go. He has the right attitude towards life. He has the right attitude towards a challenge because it's easy for him to focus on that type of stuff. So, you know, he grew up in an active life. He just didn't sit home and watch soap operas with his mom or anything. He was actually doing something.
The following day, we can come in and go straight to work, putting tools together.
So you need to open your box. You need to take the literature out because there's information in there about your belt.
Last name Bowsman, first name Andrew.
20.
We give them the belt that they're sized for, a bag, they'll get the whole 9 yards, and then we do a check where we'll make sure that each student has every piece of equipment that they're supposed to be assigned.
First thing we're gonna do, take our bag, dump it on the inside of the pole circle. Everybody dump their bag.
Wrenches, climbing gear, gas, belt, you name it. Even a calculator.
Lineman's pliers. Do not open them. Put it in your bag.
I'm already getting a gauge of what it's like. See where they're at, if they can pay attention to instructions.
You can tell a lot about those guys when you're out there putting your tools together. Are they mechanically inclined? You got a right gaff and you got a left gaff. You can watch them, they'll put them on the wrong feet. Some guys have never put their hands on stuff like that, and we can tell within that first day, that first hour, if we might have some issues.
Well, I'm a rock climber. Climbed a palm tree once. Yeah, I was scared my first time climbing and learned how to kind of grasp the fear. Now I love it. Day one, the beginning to a long future. Well, how I found out about SLTC, I was bartending at Big Bear Lake Brewery, and a friend of mine, John, he'd come in every so often, and right away you could see the passion in his eyes and how stoked he was. I'd ask him, you know, what do you do? So, I'm a lineman. It's the best thing on the planet. Told me a few awesome stories, some storm work he's been on, and I just keep asking questions. And what is a lineman? What do you do? What's all entailed, you know? And hospitals, everybody relies on power. Down in LA, we've had elderly die when the power goes out, you know, and people hitting power lines, down lines, and who do the police and firemen call? So it seems like a really important job, you know, and quite adventurous. So I did my own research, went online, explored a lot of different schools, and I definitely liked what SLTC had to offer.
He looked at other schools too, and he got feedback from people who were into industry and talked to them. So he didn't just take the easy route, or he probably would have gone to the school in Northern California, because that would have been easier for him. But from what he heard and found out, that was the best school. That's why he ended up going to that school.
It's gonna be fun to be around a bunch of guys, a little competitiveness, climbing poles and learning the techniques, pushing the limits a little bit. I'm looking forward to the challenge. That's what really sparks my interest in this career.
My name is Curtis Stewart, training supervisor. I actually started my career in line work here at the school, so I'm a former student that graduated the program, went out and worked. So I came here in 2006 as an instructor, worked through the PC, training students. In 2014, stepped into my first supervisory role over at our Extension campus, and then actually rolled into a training supervisor where I have a play in all of our campuses, main campus, Extension campus, and our CLP program. We mainly work with the other instructors to make sure they have what they need for their teaching, their training. Day-to-day, everything with the student should be handled by an instructor, and then those issues that go above that, in comes your training supervisors. We already have one over the weekend at Jefferson's getting belligerent with language and stuff. Manager actually had to ask him to leave, and they hadn't even started class yet, so we're gonna make sure we touch on their actions outside of here.
Yeah, do not go out in town and get in some kind of fight, all right? Ends up with assault charges, ends up with you going home, not finishing, not passing go, that whole thing, all right? Just mind your P's and Q's for the next 15 weeks, guys, you'll do fine. All right.
Rule number one, above anything else, don't be stupid. What's rule number one? What's rule number one? There you go.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning. I'm Judge McCormick. I'm the magistrate judge here in the county and the city judge. If you see me, you're probably going to be leaving town real soon after that. So if you have questions, we're here to help you. If you have a problem, come to my office. I'm at the courthouse. I'm there 5 days a week. All the instructors have my phone number, but I don't want to see you at the jail. And I certainly don't want to see you in the courtroom, okay?
You've got 14 weeks left. You can hang out for 14 weeks and do what you got to do to pass this class, right?
We're strict with these guys, you know, inside the gates and outside the gates also. And you got to have discipline. We throw a lot of stuff on these guys. It's not going to be given to you. You're going to have to work hard. These 15 weeks are going to be tough. You have the right attitude and, you know, use your head and always follow rule number one, which is, what is it? Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. You're going to have it made, okay?
First 3 weeks, ain't gonna lie, it's pretty rough. All of us have had to go through that apprenticeship and endure that process. Taking a bite of that crap sandwich, y'all understand what I'm saying? That's the reason why it's not for everybody.
There's not a better feeling in the world to know that you'll be able to take care of yourself and your family financially.
Those high salaries we talk about, they don't just hand them to you. You got to work for them. You got to have a willingness to be there day in, day out, do it again month after month.
Recruiters come here, roughly 20, 30 per class. If you are not working within a month or 2 or 3 after leaving here, number one reason is probably because you weren't ready to pick up and move away from your little middle of somewhere beautiful Kentucky town. To get your foot in the door in this industry, be open to the idea that you may need to move to Georgia, Alabama, Florida. Right now, Pike, Irby, Florida Power and Light, Duke are hiring.
You don't get a job, it's your own fault. Just straight up.
If you don't want to be successful, there's not much any of us can do for you. But if you want to be successful here, we can help you along the way in whatever ways that you're going to need. And hydrate, it's going to be really hot. Make sure you're physically prepared for this.
We've got some guys that their background's military, and they, describe it close to basic training.
So my name is Garrett Till, prior service Army, Pole Circle 10. The brotherhood, the challenge, camaraderie, the work ethic, you got to apply it here. It's like going back to basic training.
The first 5 weeks in the PC are probably some of the most intense weeks of these guys' lives. It's crucial that they have discipline.
Discipline would be write-ups or up-downs.
I push them and I'm tough on them. I don't want them to just become linemen. I want them to become leaders. So I just try to push them to their limit.
If they're just blatantly disobeying orders, then we'll bring them in and sit down with Curtis and have a talk with them, because they're going to be held to a higher standard when they go to work for a company.
I need them to do what I tell them to do the way I tell them to do it, because when you get on the crew, you're going to have a foreman and he's going to need you to do a job, and he's going to need you to do it the way he tells you to do it, not the way you think's the best way to do it.
We don't want them just to memorize stuff or just go through the steps. We want them to understand why they're doing this.
I don't want them to be robots, by no means, but I do want them to be able to follow directions, because that's even crucial to just getting your foot in the door with a job someplace, is to be able to follow directions. So I stay on them for the first 5 weeks, and we build a mutual respect. If you don't trust me, I can't teach you. I want you to climb, because the more you climb, the better you get. The better you get, the more comfortable you get. So they have to learn to trust me and know that I'm not just being an ass to them. I'm really trying to get them comfortable on a pole.
That's the beginning, right? Is to get comfortable in the hooks in their gear and to be able to do the job. They've got to understand that skill. I think our training's very unique. We saw the need to run our climbing, our pole circles like a boot camp. It's very intense, very challenging. They're gonna climb a lot. They're probably gonna climb more here than they're gonna climb when they get out in the real world. And they're gonna be good climbers.
My name's David Powell, and I just want to start out by saying thank you guys for being here. Our goal long term is to make you better individuals, to make you better people.
What are those soft skills? What are those things that we can teach them along the way in the 15 weeks that they're here that can help develop to make them a better employee, a better father or a better husband? I mean, those are the things that are going to make them fit better in the industry.
So it's a growing up process, a maturing process. It happens by being here. Every day I try to make myself better. But at the same time, my involvement with you guys is the awakening.
In 2018, David Powell started The Awakening as an opportunity for students to grow and develop themselves beyond the 15-week program. It's his passion to help people become the best version of themselves.
Been in sports pretty much all my life. Been pushing myself in the gym. Was not afraid of much, but in 2013, I went through a program called Kokoro Camp. Something that happens in a crucible event like that is very unique. It was literally like the most amazing high that you can ever have. Everything kind of slowed down, like you just see things differently. It was like I was in a different world almost, and I wanted that back. I remember talking to one of the coaches. I asked him, how do I get this feeling back? Does that mean I gotta go through the event again? Like, how do I get this back? And he said, man, you take people where you've been. So the first thing I did is start working with SilFit here for students that want to participate. And then it just got easier for us to run it on our own. And so we created The Awakening, and that was my way to connect to the student. I can't go out there and teach them how to climb poles. I'm not a lineman. But I can take them where I've been. I try to use The Awakening as an opportunity for everybody to be able to push pause and stop and evaluate, figure out what's the driving factor, what's the thing that's moving them through life. It's not easy climbing when it's 95 degrees outside, but it's not easy doing this line of work. It's not easy doing this trade, and if you're gonna make it in this trade, that has to become normal. That has to become something that you look forward to, that you don't mind. This type of event allows us to push candidates and individuals and students way beyond where they think they can go. We all have like this limitation. We all have this idea and this story of what we're capable of doing. And so we run the event just because we want to shatter, the limitations that people put on themselves. And it's not just physical. There's mental breakthroughs that happen. There's emotional breakthroughs that happen when students are saying that some of their most memorable moments coming through SLTC is experiencing the awakening. It's powerful. That's super powerful because we have an amazing program here.
I came to this challenge wanting to overcome my desire to quit. Second by second, moment by moment, I just had to overcome each desire to quit. I want to be in the forefront, standing the ground, and get over wanting to quit. You won't regret it.
Through these situations and through this event, we push individuals further than they think they're capable of going. A person would never subject themselves to that without a coach, without someone taking them down that path. And so that's what the awakening is to do, is to take them down a different path. The more you get used to it, and the more comfortable in a crappy situation you are, the more it becomes normal. Embrace the suck, as the SEALs would say. Embrace the suck. You gotta look forward to it, because the more you look forward to it, the more you accept it, the easier it is to deal with.
The goal is to make you a better person when you're done with it than when you came in. A better person when you leave SLTC than when you came into SLTC. That is our goal.